there's so many different ways to connect with each other. The world just needs more people to be more self-conscious, not only about themselves, but what's going on around them.
What I want to do with you right now is ask you about the idea of the inspired entrepreneur. What is that? Hello, my name is Aaron Wexler, and welcome to another episode of Within the Game. Let's go. Within the Game is all about sharing inspiration. I love to talk to people that love to share their own inspiration, and that's the purpose of this whole show. So thank you to the listeners and the fans. If you are watching on YouTube, please leave a like, subscribe, comment, all those things. They do really help out. And if you would like to further support the show, please grab a copy of my book, The Inspired Athlete, which is all about bringing out the inner inspired athlete within you, right? And that energy is all about going for it. Also, if you would like to reach out to me and make this show a little bit more interactive, you can hit me up on @WithinTheGamePodcast on Instagram. And also, please follow and support my guests. And today's guest is the one and only Niles Malvasia. Niles, thanks so much for being here, man.
What's up, brother? Thank you for having me.
It's great to connect, man. Appreciate you. So Niles is an entrepreneur, a former police officer, having spent 20 years in law enforcement, a real estate investor, and lottery winner. He won $1 million on a Powerball ticket and is a big believer in the power of manifestation, which we're going to get into today. Your Instagram is @Niles Malvasia. And a quick shout out to Timothy Schultz, who's a friend of this show. That's how I found you and connected with you. Everyone go check out Timothy's podcast. I'll leave a link to it. It's awesome. And so the overall theme that we're going to get into now is how the teachings of Abraham Hicks can help you manifest what you want. And so I want you to kind of frame the conversation based around that. So the first thing I like to get into with all my guests is this concept of inspired living. What does that mean to you, Niles?
For me, the meaning of inspired living, it's the concept. The way I look at it is the ability to first thing just wake up every morning, and be able to immediately give thanks for the things that I have and to show gratitude for the things that I already have in my life. It's so important to first acknowledge the things and the people and the happenings and the things that are going on in your life every day. We're always in the chase. We want to chase for that bigger prize, that bigger pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And yeah, we don't want to lose that chase, but you have to acknowledge what you have in front of you, and through social media and things that, are ways of communicating and being able to reach out to each other, and through memes and technology and today AI and the way things are created, memes that are put out there. There's so many different ways to connect with each other. But for me to get up in the morning, to show gratitude, to give thanks for what I have, to give thanks for the health and the well-being of my family and my friends and my children and their children, and just really everyone around the world. Like the world just needs more people to be more self-conscious, not only about themselves, but what's going on around them. And to be able to, if it's that old, like, shake a hand, make a friend. If you can change somebody else's life, if you can have a positive effect on someone else's life, then do it. Because just like you speak to the universe and you manifest and you use the law of attraction, and it truly is a law, because we'll jump into quantum physics, and we are magnets, and that's just like me. I am a magnet, and money is attracted to me. I mean, I'm just a ball of energy.
I love that so much, man. I love how we started immediately with gratitude when you talk about inspired living. Amen to that. Yes, 100%. I think it's kind of the first thing we should all think of right when we wake up in the morning, right? I've been doing that lately. Like the very first thought, rather than reach for the phone, rather than think about the to-do list, is like, thank you, man. Thank you so much. And it could be to an external force, or it could just be just to say it, just be because it feels good to say it. So thank you for saying that. um I usually follow that question up with this idea of the inspired athlete, but what I want to do with you right now is ask you about the idea of the inspired entrepreneur. What is that?
Oof. If anybody knows, in this day and age, you you better be inspired because again, like I just spoke about social media, you're now getting involved in what used to be, I'm not going to say tough, but it used to be very tough to just start up a t-shirt company or a baseball cap company, or to take your logo and to put it on something and sell it. Um, Now, let's be honest, everybody's doing it. So as an entrepreneur, you really have to have an imagination, and you really have to tap into things, and just you really have to tap into like that third eye. You really have to look out and find what is going to again separate you from everyone else. That's the most important thing. you know, there could be 10 people in the room selling the same product to the panel. Wow, how do I prove to the panel that my product is better than yours? It's the same exact thing. It looks like it, smells like it, tastes like it. But why is mine going to change your life? Well, it's not just the product, it's the person that delivers it. It's the vessel that carries the message. And we are vessels, and we speak to the universe, and we're energy. And the universe listens. The universe doesn't just like us. The universe just doesn't favor us. The universe absolutely positively loves you. When you wake up every morning, you say that out loud. You know, uh, just 2 days ago, Candace Barr had me on her show, and we spoke how manifesting sometimes can teeter on borderline religion. Well, let it then. Somebody might say, oh, that's controversial. Let it then. Let it teeter on religion, because you know what? If you're going to have a relationship with God, if you're going to have a relationship with whatever high being that you worship, well, then you can have a relationship with the universe. You can speak to the universe, and you can walk with the universe, and you can talk with the universe. And you don't, just like, you know, I am not supposed to speak to God just when I need something. Again, I'm supposed to have a relationship with Him. Well, you should approach speaking to the universe and manifesting and affirmations, and uh, the signs will be what the universe is speaking back to you about, and just maybe whatever you asked for, you didn't get it right then and there. It didn't come that day after. It didn't come 2 days after, or 2 weeks, or 2 months, or 2 years after. But the universe will show you signs that it's coming. It's coming. What are you supposed to do? Keep the faith. Well, that sounds a little like religion, right? You're supposed to keep the faith. Well, you're supposed to keep the faith in the universe. The
Yeah.
universe is speaking back to you. And I was like many, many people for many, many years. I ignored the signs. I said my career went in this direction because that's the direction I put it in. My life went in this direction because that's the direction I headed in. Little did I know, I forgot about the times that I sat there and I thought about it, and I foreseen myself in that position, and I foreseen myself living out what someone could call a dream. I was living that dream. Well, is it because I worked hard and put myself in that position, or did I manifest that?
Hmm.
No, there's a lot of people that did what I did. There's a lot of people that worked hard and put themselves in the positions. Why me?
Yeah.
What separated me? What separates me from everyone else is my relationship with the universe. I have been able to tap in to a relationship with the universe where it now answers me almost on a regular basis. And it's doing everything that I've asked for. It's putting me in that position to continue to do what I did for 20 years as a police officer, protect and serve. Well, I know my calling now is to continue to serve, and
Yep.
it's continue to help people, and it's continue to be the face for the universe and say, hey, you know, it's not just practice. It's not witchcraft. It's not, something to, let me try it for 2 weeks. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to let it go. It's not that type of, it's deep. It's understanding the universe, and it's understanding your body, and it's understanding your mind. And again, like I said, the quantum physics, and getting into people's teachings, and you know, uh, just it's it's so cool once you break through that barrier, man. It's
Yeah.
it's it's the coolest thing in the world,
It really is. Yeah, it really is cool because you realize that the universe is responsive, right, to your own energy, which I want to really dive into that as we continue this conversation. But what I want to say about the inspired entrepreneur, then one of the reasons why I wanted to connect with you here is I've heard you on a couple other podcasts. I believe it was Timothy's podcast talking about donating, because I want to frame this conversation back to you winning the lottery and money and abundance, and then we'll get into the Abraham stuff. But you had said something about, that's part of what you do. You donate. You're a giver, and what that sparked in me was like, Niles allows money to go through him. It comes, it goes. It comes, it goes, so that it becomes energy, right? And it's a
Yeah.
cool way to look at money because not everyone looks at it like that. But that's why I wanted to ask you about the inspired entrepreneur, because I feel like when it comes in, you give it out and you are able to choose wisely. Does that make sense? Does that kind of resonate?
Oh, without a doubt. I never, and this goes back to Esther and Jerry and Abraham and the teachings. It's never to have that feeling of want or need, to that feeling of, I have the money now and I'm so scared I have to hold on to it. And if I don't hoard it, and if I don't lock it all away, I'm gonna lose it all.
Right. Right.
No, 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 that's not it. That's not it. Now, I'm not telling you to stand on the corner and give away every penny that you own and you have. I'm not you know, promoting that. But what you can uh give back, do it.
Yeah.
What you can do to help your fellow man, do it. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? You
Yeah.
know, why wouldn't
So
you, just to be a human being? Why wouldn't you? But I always say, don't we're not, also not doing things so we get more back. You know, but do things with an open heart. Um, Way before the lottery. Like I said, I was blessed with a great career, great profession. And so was my wife at the time. So both of our salaries, it was no secret what we made as police officers. So I've always done well for myself, you can say, what you consider doing well. And we've done well for our families through the years. Um, so I've always done well with money. But when, you talk about the winnings, yes, that put me in a different category. But growing up, I grew up with nothing, single mom, working two jobs, social services to get me through, school just to eat, just to put food on the table.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. It definitely wasn't easy. So there was a struggle there, you know. Um, so in return, what did I do was when it came time, like everybody else in life, I wasn't born with the silver spoon. I faced struggle. But when I faced adversity and struggle, I knew my mom put in that hard work. So I didn't want to be another statistic, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And that's where things start to change in one's life. It's time to grow up. It's time to be a man. It's time to be a woman. And you take on a different form. That's when you start to navigate your way through life and discovering, your ways and discovering who you become. Well, is it okay to ask for guidance through that? Is it okay to ask for or speak to beings that aren't here? You
Yeah.
know, uh, what do we do when we have family members and friends that transition? We stop talking to them? No, we don't. No, we don't. There's many times I find myself, since I lost my mom, that, I'll be alone and I would talk to her out loud and say, what would you do? What do I do? What do I do in this sense? Why? Because I know my mother, when she transitioned, she's a ball of energy.
Yeah.
Where did that energy go? It just poof into nowhere. No, that energy is sitting right next to me. That
That's
energy is
cool.
right next to me right now, you know, and that energy is with me. That energy is with her grandbabies, where I know that's where most of it is. I think she leaves me alone for most of the part, but she watches her grandbabies. But you need to understand life. And I feel at a very, very young age, and I say this, something happened with me, and I really, I feel I crossed paths with something when I was a child. And my mother tells me this story, and it was followed up by family members and uncles and aunts and things like that. But I'll always say that I had the opportunity to touch the hand of God. I don't dive into it too much, but with that opportunity, my life just took path. It went in that direction where I knew I was always going to be a protector. That was going to
Mm.
be my role in life. And I accepted it. And little things started to happen,
Mm.
and did I put myself in that position to go that route? Um, no, not really. It was almost me in my mind thinking, what can I do? What do I want to be? It wasn't like I grew up and I said, oh, I want to be a cop. You know, I was
Mm.
like every other kid playing baseball in Jersey. I wanted to play for the Yankees. Uh, Unfortunately that didn't happen. So, but I had the next best thing, and it was mapped out for me already. It was in my DNA. It was what the universe had in store for me, and that was to be a police officer. Because being a police officer gave me the opportunity to touch many, many different lives on a daily basis. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
for the good and for the bad and for the ugly.
Yeah. Hey everyone, thanks so much for being a fan of the show. I really appreciate your support. And if you'd like to further support the podcast, please grab a copy of my book, The Inspired Athlete. The Inspired Athlete is all about my personal growth journey, my athletic journey, my spiritual journey, all combined into one. And really the idea is that the energy of the inspired athlete is within us all, and it's up to us to evoke that. And whether you consider yourself an athlete or a competitor or not, it's my belief that the energy of the inspired athlete is within us. Even if you just decide to take a deep breath and just move your body, that's the inspired athlete. So it would mean a lot if you could help support the book project as well as the podcast by grabbing a copy Links to the Amazon paperback version as well as the Audible audiobook version are listed below in the description. Thank you very much for your support. Stay inspired, y'all. And I know you've worked on some pretty big cases, so thank you for your service there. And again, going back to gratitude, I'm grateful that we connected, and let's talk about how we connected, because we connected because you won the lottery. You won, and you ended up on Timothy's podcast, and now we connected. And so I briefly want you to share how you won. You go into more details on his podcast, which I'll direct people to. I want you to briefly share your experience of winning, and then let's bring it back to the Abraham teachings, because I think that's really relatable to people. So yeah, talk about winning the lottery, and if you believe you manifested that and how you did that, and just kind of be brief on that. But yeah, go for it.
Yeah, 2018, couple of days into the new year, everyone was chasing a $525 million jackpot. And to make a long story short, I ended up, and we'll get into that, I ended up doing something that Esther and Jerry, and Abraham preached. And that's exactly what I did. And that's exactly what put me in the position to, to everything just everything just fell into place. And I, from me, I was driving to Newark, New Jersey, and if your audience, if there's audience members out there that know Newark, New Jersey, they know like traffic on the weekend. It's like lower Manhattan, you know, and I'm just like banging my head against the window. Why am I like, why now? Like, and it was important. I had to drop paperwork off to a guy I knew. So uh, I'm driving and I'm getting closer to the Prudential Center. And I just happened to look up, I'm like, let me just look up. And there was the lottery. It showed the Powerball was $525 million. So I just looked at it and I go, that's mine. I go, that's mine. You're mine. I go, that way, if I'm in traffic again, at least I'll be sitting in the back. I let the driver has to deal with it. I said, because 525 million, I ain't driving no more. I'm not driving. I'm not dealing with traffic. I'm not getting stressed, nothing. So I look up. I said, that's mine. Go past. I learned to now, and this is where the law of attraction came into, and the teachings. I'd learned to now drive past that sign, recognize that that was a sign from the universe telling me, hey, look up. Don't worry about what you're in right now, because it's right here. I'm right here for you. When I get past the traffic, I see my buddy. I drop off paperwork to him. I'm on my way back. Traffic is still like insane. So I get off a certain area. It takes me around a back area to Route 46. At this time, I'm living in Closter on the border of Closter and Alpine in New Jersey. And I call my wife at the time, and I asked her, I said, hey, I had to get off at 46. The traffic is ridiculous. I'm going to cut through Hackensack, and that's where we were from. That's where I worked. And said, I'm going to stop and get some Chinese food at our old spot that we loved. And she was like, okay, get the usual, get the kids the usual, and come home. Okay. So I go there. I place the order. And then there's a 7-Eleven right there on the corner of Passaic and the Esplanade in Hackensack. So I walk in, and I forgot, I go to play, and the cash that I had in my pocket, I had used to pay for the food already. So I paid ahead of time, and I just walked over, and you can't use your debit card in Jersey. Like now here in Florida, you can use a debit card or use it to purchase like scratch offs and things like that. You don't have that in Jersey. At least now they might. I don't know. In 2018, they didn't. So I went into my wallet, and what was in my wallet? It was because of Esther and Jerry and Abraham. That it was always that feeling of never wanting something. It's the feeling of not wanting. And in order for you never to feel that you cannot afford something, or you never could get something, and you needed it, you wanted it, and you couldn't have it, the teachings was to take the whatever you could afford, whether it's $1 bill, whether it's a $5 bill, whether it's a $10 bill, whatever you can afford, you are to fold it up and put it into your wallet, and to know that that money is always in your wallet, and you will never feel that need of wanting something, because you could always have it. And again, I was fortunate, and I'll never forget Sarah handing me the $100 bill. And I don't know when exactly I put it in my wallet, but I always had it in my wallet. So I looked down and I said, "Oh, there's the 100. Let me play the lottery while I'm here. I'll use this 100, and when I get home, I'll replace it." So I used that $100 bill. That $100 bill that I was taught to put into my wallet, that will always give me the feeling of not needing to want, that will always make me feel fulfilled and have abundance, actually gave me everything that it was supposed to in that wallet. The purpose of was for abundance was, that was the reason it was in the wallet. That's the reason I took it out of the wallet. That's the reason I used it to play the lottery tickets. And that's when I won $1 million.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Amazing,
man.
dude.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And that's
Thank
so
you.
cool. And thank you for sharing that. And I just want to like explain Abraham for a second. Maybe you can help me here too. But for people who are listening, who's like, what are they talking about when they say Abraham? So there's someone named Esther Hicks, and
Yes.
this woman channels an energy, a collective energy called Abraham.
Yes.
And I went to see Esther and Abraham 3 times in person, actually.
Awesome.
And yeah, amazing, amazing. And anyone can go find them on YouTube. You can go check them out. There's a bunch of free stuff on YouTube. But basically, what Abraham teaches is the law of attraction, the power of positive thinking, and alignment, right? And there's a lot more stuff too, but the alignment stuff is what I'm really interested in, because whether your goal is to win the lottery, by the way, that's a huge goal of mine. That's a dream of mine. I would love to have that feeling. And I think a lot of people share that. But whatever that thing is, what the main teachings of Abraham are is to line up with that feeling first, right? And that's what the whole idea of manifesting is to line up with it before it happens. And that's why I think it's so fascinating to discuss. So that I just wanted to share that, so people are like, what is this Abraham thing, right? And so I maybe that's a good segue to ask you a little bit more about these laws, because Abraham does speak about the law of attraction, but there's also the law of expectation, the law of assumption, and the law of creation. Could you, I'm going to throw this back at you, Niles. Could you like take all of those laws and like share how you were able to tap into those laws and to create alignment with what you wanted?
Take them all.
Well, take all of them or one
Take
of
them
them,
all.
however you want to.
Take them all and just squeeze them into one like one ball of energy, that like, the more pressure you put on that rock, you're going to create that diamond. You're going to squeeze that diamond. That's what happens, man. That's what happens. You take everything in your life, everything that's going on, the good, the bad, the ugly, because as you know, with the law of attraction and manifestation and speaking to the universe, and your verbiage and speaking with intention, ultimately your thoughts become your reality.
Yeah.
Your thoughts become your reality.
Yeah.
So I will take each law and I can take a little bit of it. I can take the entire thing, squeeze it all together. It doesn't matter. In the end, it's what you feel, it's what
Right.
works for you.
Right.
But I cannot do it for you. You cannot do it for them. You have to want it for yourself, right? Uh, you can take the horse to the pond, but you can't make the horse drink, right? We can lead people. We understand and we both know that there's individuals that we would come across in the world that, look, the sky is blue. No, it's red. No, no, look up, it's blue. No, 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 it's red. Okay, I can't help you. I'm sorry. But when you come to me and you're open and you're saying, listen, I can do these things, but just what am I doing differently?
Yeah.
You know, I I point things out to people and it's so obvious to me because it's easier for me to look at it. And it's easier for you to contact me and say, hey, Niles, this is what I'm doing. You know, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing something wrong? Is it differently? And a lot of times it's easier for me to look back and say, oh, like you did this, or you said this, or did you hear what you just told me? You reacted this way. And then it dawns on them, oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But you're on the right path because you're self-conscious and you know what you're doing wrong and you want to correct that. And those are the people that ultimately, eventually, they tune in and they tune in hard. They tune in hard and they experience something that really opens up their eyes for good. They really experience something in life that they asked for, that they manifested, they spoke to the universe. They did everything correctly. They were completely aligned. And it just happened. It
Yeah.
happened. Not when they asked for it. They already asked for it. They let it go. They told the universe what they wanted and they let it go. They went about their everyday life. You have to live your life. You have to, there's affirmations, there's studies to follow, there's things to do on a daily basis to reinforce your relationship with the universe. But beyond that, it's now the fun part. It's now getting into your car, you know. Like I told Candace the other day, I used to get into my Chevy and I grabbed the wheel and I'd start it up. And in my mind, the car would go and turn right on. But in my mind, that thing sounded like a rocket ship just went off. Why? Because that's the dual exhaust on my Lambo. You know, that's the exhaust that is shaking everybody's windows. Like right now, my neighbor's windows are shaking. And this is what I'm thinking. Meantime, I'm in my Chevy, my kids are screaming. I'm trying to put on, Shrek so they can watch the movies in the back. But in my mind, I'm in my Lamborghini. So
Okay, so I got to ask you about that. I'm so glad you brought that up. There's a quote by Neville Goddard. Uh, it's assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. That's
yes,
what you're talking about, right? And I think
yes,
that's part of what Abraham teaches, which is like whatever it is that you want, whether it's the lottery. Let's use the lottery for now, right? Because that's what we're talking about. But it could be anything. It doesn't have to be the lottery. It could be anything. And again, maybe we can tie in sports too, because I told you a big part of my audience is are athletes.
oh yeah.
Um, the assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So lean into that more, Niles. Like when you're in your visualization, because that's basically what you're saying. You're visualizing yourself in the Lambo before you have the Lambo, right? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, no, I don't
Right.
have no Lambo at the time.
Right. So assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So like you're not just picturing the Lambo and hearing the exhaust, but like lean into the feeling more. Like, what does that mean?
Oh, it's the vibration. Yeah, we vibrate with that energy and with this positive energy in our bodies, our core energy. Uh, we're vibrating. Uh, you don't feel it. It's not like we're walking around shaking. But we let out a vibration, and that's what when I say that I'm a magnet and money is attracted to me, the feeling of actually sitting there. I mean, when I tell you that I dive deep into putting myself in that seat, I can smell that car. I can smell the tires burning. I can feel the power of the car and steering wheel in my hand. And then I stop for a red light, and I'm in my Chevy with my little kids, and one, like I said, screaming in the car seat, and another one throwing food and wiping his hands on the windows, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want my Lamborghini handprints. But the best part about it was years later, I had to wipe handprints off my Lamborghini.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's super cool. Well, so again, you are able to manifest results. And what would you say to someone who's maybe listening or watching this right now, who maybe has tried that? Okay, yeah, guys, I hear you. I'm doing the feeling of the wish fulfilled. I'm doing the visualization. I've launched the rocket of desire, which I'll talk about in a second, because Abraham uses that phrase, launch the rocket of desire. But I don't have results. You know, as a guy who's got the
I,
results, what do you say to that?
listen, I mean, how many people out there not only are they not seeing the results, but they're even dealt a devastating hand in life.
Right, right.
Something that really sets them back. Uh, God, right now, baseball season just ended, right? So I'm a diehard Yankee fan.
I'm a diehard Dodgers fan. Let's go Dodgers.
Hey man, I knew you were going to say that too. I knew it. But you know what? Number one, they deserve it. I tip my cap to them. Tremendous season, tremendous players, tremendous lineup. They never give up. Tremendous coaching, tremendous ownership. What did they do? They manifested. Tell me they didn't manifest. Oh, we're going to go out and get one player and he's going to change the entire season. No, they knew that there's something special about Shohei. Not only as a player, but as a person. There's something very special about that human being. And he most certainly, you talk about manifesting. I mean, let's talk about Freddie Freeman. I mean, and you and the athletes that follow your show, you're going to tell me Freddie Freeman never, ever, ever, well, he was a young Freddie Freeman in his backyard, imagined himself hitting a walk-off grand slam in the World Series. Freddie Freeman, God bless him and everything that comes to him and his family. The guy's got a great story.
Yeah.
And plus the things he's dealt with in life. But he manifested that at bat. He manifested that day. And he's seen it come true. And he shared it with his dad that moment.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's everything that he manifested. In his mind too, he thought about after hitting that he would find his dad in the audience and run up to him
That was very
in the
cool, man.
crowd, and you
Yeah.
just, as us as athletes, that he manifested that and it came true. It didn't just come true. Oh, did he put himself in that position? Yeah, he did. But these guys, they just, again, it's at a whole nother level. The mindset and the power of the mind and the power of the mind of a professional athlete in any sport, just the mindset to be able to come over injuries,
Yeah, for sure. For
it's just
sure.
it's just unreal. So,
But Niles, go back to the person that doesn't have the results yet. Like, how do they?
okay, yeah, like it's very difficult, right?
Yeah,
Very
yeah,
difficult, because I was in that position too. And you can come to me and you can say, "Hey, but this and that," and I would look at you and but this and this happened for you. It didn't happen for me.
right, right.
It's very easy. Again, I'm huge, huge fans of Abraham and the teachings because you are taught to immediately pivot. You're feeling bad thoughts. You're feeling down. You're feeling that no matter what you say to me, I'm not going to listen. It's not real. It's not true. This is make believe. This is fly by night. This is what law. No, you need to immediately put yourself in a good place. You need to pivot. You need to plant your feet in the ground and pivot. And when I mean pivot, you need to redirect your feelings and your emotions, and you need to open up. And if you cannot pivot that hard, if you can get away, if you're in the office setting, if you can go out to your car and just sit in your car for 10 minutes, if you're home, if you can just go down, lay down for 20 minutes, lay down for a half hour, take a nap, I guarantee you, you're going to recharge.
I
I guess
love that you, yeah, sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to
no,
say, I love that you said that because that's getting into what they, meaning Abraham, teach about stopping negative momentum. Just chill out, right?
yes, yeah, just put a stop to it completely to
Yeah,
the point where if you can't pivot and say, you know what, okay, you know, A, B, and C happened, but you know what? Let me take a step back, take a deep breath. Let me sit down. Like I said, let me get out of the office setting. Let me go to my car. Let me sit down for 10 minutes. Let me get
yeah,
out of remove myself from the environment,
right.
remove myself from the negativity, remove myself from the environment, remove myself. You know what? I don't need negative people to get away from me. I'm more than happy to get away myself. Take care. Bye bye.
Right. Right.
I'm not being held here. I'm not here against my, will. I'm out. That's it.
Sure.
So take that opportunity to recharge. If you're home and you can lay down, do it. Lay down. Because let's be honest, this is life, and life is like a roller coaster, and there's ups and downs, and we're going to be faced with some things that just it's out of our control, and and we talk about transitioning and passing on and passing away, and another way, means of passing away, you transition. Um, you know, manifesting is not going to stop that. The law of attraction and the secret is not going to stop it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Examples that are given that Rhonda gives with the secret, and Esther gives with Abraham. There's many different examples, but you're not going to stop death. Uh, but it's where it goes. It's what happens at that point. It's where that energy goes. It's what you believe. It's how you feel, not only in your mind but in your heart.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the way to turn a bad into a good. You know,
Yeah. For
uh,
sure.
you know, it it's man. I wish I wish it was as easy to just hand it over, right? Like it's like here, like just plug this in and put it in the back of your head, and you'll be charged up in an hour. It's so easy to say that. And I wish it was that easy just to give to people.
Thank you to new sponsor of the show, Stretch Life, located in Manhattan Beach, California. Stretch Life offers assisted stretching for anyone who wants to enhance their flexibility practice. And if you're like me, muscle tightness is something I deal with on a daily basis, whether I'm in the gym training or out on the beach playing beach volleyball, or even sitting here doing this podcast. It's a challenge to make time for the daily stretch routine. And so I've been working with Amir over the last couple months over at Stretch Life, and I can tell a big difference in the way I feel. I have more range of motion, I have more energy, more muscle control, and just overall less pain. Stretch Life is offering Within the Game listeners 50% off your first session. Just mention Within the Game when you book online or when you call in for the discount. And also, if you do not have access to the Stretch Life studio, but you still want to learn more about how to enhance your flexibility practice, Amir is offering a free 20-minute phone call where he can share specific stretches and other specific tools that can help you. So visit stretchlife.com, that's Stretch Life spelled with a Y, to book your first session, and hope you enjoy the rest of the show. Yeah, but it's not, and that's why we're talking about it. That's why I think it's really worth talking about this stuff, because it's not that easy. I mean, it is conceptually, but the practice of it can be challenging. That's the next thing I want to ask you about too, which is this idea of the vortex. So Abraham, for context, Abraham teaches this idea of the vortex, and the vortex is like this dream state of everything that you want, in my understanding of it. right? It's like all the stuff, including the lottery, including the great relationships, the Lamborghini, whatever the thing is that you desire. When they talk about the rocket of desire, I'm going to put that in there. Like for me, I would love to win the big Powerball and be a guest on Timothy's podcast. I see that. I already see Timothy asking me questions similar to this, and that's in my vortex. So maybe you could talk about how you put that rocket of desire of winning that lottery. I know you didn't win the big, but you won $1 million, but that was in your vortex. So maybe you
It's
could
what
talk a
I
bit. Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
That's exactly what that was my vortex.
Yeah.
I asked for $1 million for the Powerball.
Wow.
I said, let me, oh, this is the law of attraction, and I'm going to give it a try. And let's start off here. Show me 1 million. I should have just asked for the jackpot,
Right. Yeah.
which ultimately, that one photo of myself uh, and my wife, and we're
Mhm.
holding the check. Everybody looks at it, and I believe it's $1,004. So everybody asks, what is the $4? Well, again, this was the universe speaking back to me.
Hmm.
Uh, I woke up that morning, I looked at the ticket, and I noticed I had, 5 numbers in a row. So I knew that was a lot of money. And then I said to myself, I'm pretty sure that's $1 million. But, and then I kept going through the ticket, and I had the Powerball number. I had the winning Powerball number, but it was one line above the 5 numbers, not like the top one. It was one line above. If it was one ball down, I would have shared 525 million with a person from New Hampshire. But instead, they won 525, and I got the million. But to me, that was the universe going, hey, like it's here, but
Yeah.
you didn't ask for it. I gave you this, but just to show you next time, because I don't, my verbiage and the way I speak to the universe and my relationship with the universe and my intentions are, it's not if there's going to be a next time for me. My number is 448. I see 448. So I know a jackpot of 448 million or more is aligned with me. And I also see a $5 million scratch off at a gas station off of a highway. And that's mine too. Now, when and where, I can't tell you, but that I have that aligned. That's in my cards for me.
That's so
So,
cool, dude. That's so
so
cool.
for someone else out there, for them to sit there, maybe they're watching this right now and they're going, yeah, right. Or, yeah, like this guy. Listen, I'm not an odds guy. All right. But I've already beat 192 million to one. Um, I've sat in, like when it lightnings outside, I immediately run inside because I'm not messing with odds. Like I'm picked to like get hit by lightning. I sat in a house one time, got hit by lightning. Like the lightning's outside, I go inside. I don't
Wow.
mess with the odds anymore, man. So odds don't
So
mean anything to me, but I, it's such a, a special journey that
yeah.
you take with yourself. With yourself.
Yeah. So now let's keep going on this Abraham stuff because I'm getting excited because again I love talking with people who understand what their main mission is. And by the way, my main mission in this moment and my intention is whoever's listening to this, like apply this stuff in your own way. I'm not
Yes.
saying I'm like or we are like masters of understanding all this, but the curiosity is there. The curiosity is there, and that's why I'm so passionate about sharing this stuff because you could you could be able to apply this to something that could work out so great for you. And if it does, by the way, let me know. I want to hear. We want to hear, let us know.
Oh, yeah, no,
Um,
my avenue to wealth, right? I wanted wealth, and my
yeah,
avenue to wealth was the lottery. Just like you said, it could be somebody else's. Like they are manifesting and they are dreaming of opening that business,
Yeah.
or venturing into this project, or doing something in their community or something like that. And that could be their way of achieving their wealth and their avenue. And they're using the law of attraction and they're manifesting. They're just doing it a different way. I was
Yeah.
very, very specific. I said, I'm using the lottery. I'm going to gamble, but I also view it being like, is it really a gamble if you know you're going to win?
Okay, perfect time to share about when you won. I heard you talk a little bit about you won in the slot machine. I think you won 10 grand.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Share that story, but I want you to frame it with Abraham's teaching of calibration.
Okay. It, it, it was all about being in the moment and walking in, seeing myself, you know, pulling the lever, hearing the bells, hearing the whistles, seeing the lights, seeing the people start to gather around. Everybody wants to take a peek what you won. It's perfectly normal. Um, I went. I guess I went to. I was at the Hard Rock,
Mhm.
and I walked in. I came down the escalator, and it was the Hard Rock in Hollywood, Florida, the big guitar. And I made a right hand turn into the non-smoking room.
Mhm.
I sat down, and just like I visualized, I put, I think it was $100 into the machine. It was spin, nothing, spin, nothing, spin, nothing. It was like either the last spin or it was the next to the last spin. Just boom, it opened up. Bing, 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 bing. And I'm looking around. I said, oh, I won something. I had to win something. It's making noises. It won't let me spin again. So they walk over, and sure enough, I'm like, what did I get? I said, I got the 5,000. And she goes, no, look, it's double times this and that. I was like, how much? 10,000. When I tell you they gave me that 10,000, I picked it up. I walked right out. I said, today I'm gonna win. Today I definitely win. Today I'm ahead. I know I'm staying ahead. And the feeling, the visualization, the leading up to it, the intention, it's so real, man. When I tell you it's so real, you can see it. I
Yeah.
can see it. I can
Yeah.
almost tell you, like, I'm going to park here. And when I show up at the place, like, it's not that exact spot, but like I'm in that aisle. How is there a spot open, at Mohican Sun or wherever? And I would just walk in places. And again, with the intention, my approach, it's only a gamble. If how is it a gamble? If, you think you're not going to win? No, no, can't. And losing, and for especially for your athletes out there, it can't be in your vocabulary. Right? Can't. It's such an evil word. Can't. Remove it.
Mm,
Remove it from your
mm.
vocabulary. Can't. Like that's. I learned that a long time ago. Get rid of that word. Just get rid of it in life. Can't. You know. It encourages give up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't. No, there's no can't. So going back to visualizing and just knowing it and going into something, I want to say it was almost like a deja vu sometimes. I seen myself there. I seen myself in that room. I seen myself receiving, you know. That goes back to vision boards,
Yeah. Yeah.
and when we set up our vision boards and we cut out things and that we want in life, and that we we're telling the universe, and we envision, and we have vision boards. And my wife, she's very, very in tuned, and she was very helpful with teaching me. Because she had vision boards where, it was people holding the lottery ticket, and it was the specific lady that was a lottery commissioner at the time. It's funny, when we won and we actually went down to bring them the ticket, my wife at the time was talking to them and asking, where is, I think her name was Carol. She wanted Carol because Carol was the one on her vision board. But they
Wow.
had Carol, pretty sure her name was Carol, but she had retired. So my wife at the time was so in tune. She even had the person, but they were like, no, but we still got checks with Carol's name on it.
That's funny.
Like, she actually got that picture with that check, the big, the fake check, that it was Carol's name on it. Like, she was that in tune that my wife at the time, she ended up winning and holding a check that was on her vision board, although that lady had retired and left the state of New Jersey. So,
So Niles, is that synchronicity or is that calibrating to your vortex? Or is it both?
I was just going to say it could be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
It really could, because you're touching on it from both ends,
Yeah.
and it's strong. It's strong. And I said this the other day. It's like we were saying earlier about learning from all the different laws, and
Yeah.
putting a little bit of everything together, taking a little bit of this and a little bit of that. What works for me works for you. It doesn't work for me, works for him, or it works for her, works for them. And putting it together and coming up with your own way of having a relationship with the universe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your own way of taking, yes, just like the different books, and just like me, just like sitting down and speaking with you, and getting to know you and learning from you. And the other day, Candace, and starting off with Tim and getting to learn from Tim, and speaking with Tim not once but twice, we had the opportunity to talk to each other. And I've also had the opportunity to, I went live with Dr. Jordan Fletcher. Like, these are people like you that just, you guys are in tuned, and it's the number one thing you want to share. You
Yeah.
want to get it out there.
That's right.
This is real. This is
That's right.
real. This is something for you to apply to everyday life.
Yeah.
And it's not to be hard. It's not to be, a struggle. This is to play a game,
Yeah.
and it's a fun game.
Fun. That I
It's
was just gonna say that. I have a keychain.
fun.
I was looking for it. It's Abraham Hicks. It says life is supposed to be fun. And that's the whole idea of this show and the mission behind everything that we're talking about. It's supposed to be fun.
Yes.
And yeah, and so I have to say this about synchronicity. Like you mentioned, I just have to say it. You mentioned 4 and 8. That's my birthday, dude. April 8th.
Oh, really? Is
And
it
it's
really?
just so it's just another idea of synchronicity. And when I see it and when I hear it, I actually recognize it and I celebrate it and I say, nice. I
Yeah.
see that synchronicity and I, as opposed to not, because when you see synchronicities and you're like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, then it's not that fun. But going back to the fun, it's fun to recognize synchronicity. Like I had
Yeah.
no idea you were gonna say those numbers. Though that's my birthday, dude. That's
Hey,
crazy.
I'm telling you, when you're on, you're on, you know,
Yeah.
when you're
It's
on, you're
so
on.
cool.
It's,
I
it's,
wanna I wanna keep jumping into this stuff. So the next thing I have is being a deliberate creator rather than living by default. Right. And that's a teaching from Abraham. And that I love being a deliberate creator. I feel like we are all creators.
yes.
There's a word that, everyone's familiar with, which is a consumer. And, the media talks about consumers. I don't like that word. I like creator. I feel like we are here to create. So when they
Yeah.
talk about being a deliberate creator rather than living by default, to me, that's what it's all about. But I would love to hear your take on that in relation and context to everything we're talking about.
It's, I mean, listen, most people, you want to be the creator of your destiny, of your life, of your being, of your future, of your present. You know, some people, some people are laid back. Some people, you know, um, sorry, some, sorry,
That's
some
okay.
people uh, are laid back. Some people, uh, they will let things, they'll put it out there, they will manifest and they will put it out there, but they will let things kind of cultivate and create on their own and not be so aggressive about it. Could there be an aggressive approach to this? Yes. Yes. You can become very, very aggressive. You can become very aggressive. Uh, but I think I think being more direct is the way to really grab a hold of what you want,
Yeah.
to really be able to say, listen, this is what I want. This is what I'm telling the universe. This is the direction I want to go in. This is my avenue. I ask, I believe, I receive, and now I let it go and I live my life.
Yeah.
Deliberate intention is to me the best way. Like, I never want to tell somebody you're wrong. No, the way you're doing things are wrong. Like, I'll never tell you you're wrong. But if things just aren't happening at this point, there's nothing wrong with looking at it from a different direction. Okay. And that's why, like, I'm contacted. That's why you're contacted. People want to, they hit that mental block. Like, I need help. I need to contact you and ask you, how do I get around this roadblock? I think if you're not direct, you open yourself up to too many roadblocks. You may
Mm,
cloud yourself.
mm,
I think if you're more direct, you know exactly, this is what I want. This is the direction we're going to go in. How I'm going to receive it, I don't know. So I cannot close it down how it comes to me. But this is what I'm asking for. This is how I'm asking to receive it.
yeah.
And now I let it go.
I love that you keep bringing up the letting go. That's huge. Um, the resistance and contrast. You just mentioned roadblocks, and those two words came up because I'm really trying to bring this back to the teachings of Abraham. So they talk about contrast
Yes.
and resistance. Um, Use those two things for me right now, and put those two things in context with this idea of manifesting. When resistance comes up, it doesn't feel good. There's a roadblock there. um when contrast happens, it doesn't feel good. Contrast meaning like what we don't want. It's like the opposite of what we want. That's why it's called contrast. How do we
Yeah.
deal with those things in this picture of manifesting what we do want?
No, your verbiage, the way your words that you use, words are very strong,
Yeah.
right? We've always been told our words are very strong. Um, that's no joke. Your words are actually much stronger than you think. You know, there's a bigger force out there that's listening. And you mentioned it earlier when, you're talking to somebody and they're facing, it's difficult to talk to because they're really facing a lot in life. And you're trying to tell them, hey, it's going to be great. It's going to be, everything's going to work out. Just keep talking to the universe. I am. I am. What more am I supposed to say? What more am I supposed to do?
Right.
No, it's not working for me. It's not happening. How do you deal with someone like that? How do you encourage them? How do you make them feel that, yeah, it's going to be okay? You
Right.
just hold on. It's going to be okay. You have to show them. You have to be able to find the good in everything. You have to be able to find the light in the darkness. We all know it can be dark. It can be so dark that people want to turn off their own lights, right?
Right.
So people go into dark, dark places. You got to be able to show the light. You got to be able to not just preach to them, but to show them that no, it's right here. Just don't let go. Don't let go. Trust me. Don't let go. And that's a mentality too of getting through day by day, achieving and accomplishing day by day, not getting too far ahead of yourself saying, well, 10 years from now, I'm going to be. No, how about 10 minutes from now, you're this. And 10 minutes from then, you're that. And a half hour from then, you're this. So to deal with the people that, you know, just complete resistance and to build up hope, to build up uh, for them in a way. I mean, but then again, you have to show them the way. You have to show them the light in a way that it resonates with them and it reflects and it motivates them to the point where they know deep down inside they can do it. They can make it. They're never going to give up, never going to lay down and die. An athlete, it's never going to give up, never going to quit. You get knocked down, you're going to get up, you know. It's the warrior mentality. You have to be a warrior. But to put that in the context of manifestation and especially with Esther and Jerry, um, there can be no resistance in your mind. You need to clear your mind. Esther just, and she's funny too. She chirps at people in the audience, and you thought you were this? Nope, you were wrong. You're not. She's just brutally honest. Um, to learn that, to learn those ways of being able to really like be that much in control, you know.
One of the things they talk about is what you focus on expands. That one really resonated with me
Yeah.
because I think it's true, and that's why I really stopped trying to watch the news so much. When I think
Oh,
they're trying to control our focus on problems, right? And yeah, I check in on it once in a while just to kind of know what's going on, but the power of focus and attention is huge. And I think what Abraham is really trying to teach us is choose your focus, choose it, right? And if it doesn't feel good, that can lead to resistance. If it feels good, you're using your emotional guidance system to reinforce something that feels good, right? So like choosing where to put your focus. Like right now, I'm loving this conversation. I love that we're focusing on these things, on manifesting and manifestations. Like that's a good feeling for me, and it makes me want to focus on it more, and it makes me want to share more because it's
yeah.
awesome and it makes me feel good. Talk a little bit about that. How do you stay focused on what you want rather than
Oh,
what you don't want?
like I said earlier about making it fun, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
making it fun. Uh, Getting the good vibes out, the bad energy out, good vibes up. Um, you know, just feeling good, getting out first thing in the morning, sitting out and just being able to reflect, give gratitude, give thanks, knowing things that could potentially cloud my vision. Uh, just getting rid of them, expelling them out of my self-consciousness, just erasing them. Like, you don't belong in my mind. I don't give it more than a second thought, and it's gone. If it's not going to be productive, if it's going to steal from me, if it's going to rob my good energy, if it's going to bring me a headache and drama, gone immediately.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
I
we
feel like, yeah, go ahead.
no, I was going to say we all slip. We all
Yeah.
slip, and we let it slip in from time to time if we're not paying attention. You know,
It sounds to me, yeah, for sure. It sounds to me like you're really aware of yourself. I think like that self awareness is key to this whole conversation. But what I was gonna say is you have this ability to train your own thought processes. It seems to me like that, and I'm sure your background in law enforcement has helped you with that. What Abraham is really good at is teaching the people how to have these rampages of positive thinking. And a rampage would be like they would just go, I'm so happy and grateful for my life today. I love my friends. I love my family. And it's just like this rampage of momentum in the positive. And I
yeah,
think that can really help. Affirmations can help, visualization can help, but that rampage and anyone listening right now, you guys can just type in rampage of positivity, Abraham, and you'll get this like a bunch of stuff talking about these rampages of positivity. But I think that really helps the subconscious, right? The background mind
yeah.
think in those ways, which can really help.
That and again, my brand page, is music. I
Yeah.
introduced I introduced music.
Heck
That's my brand page. There's nothing like some. You want to get your blood flowing and your juices flowing and everything pumping. Some EDM, and you're like, you're next stratosphere, man. I'm
yeah.
listening to some Tomorrowland, and I'm posting things on Instagram, and I'm loving it.
Heck
Uh,
yeah.
it just it just brings good vibes, good energy, positive energy. It
For sure.
brings awareness. It brings self-awareness. It brings, love, self-love. You gotta love yourself, man. You gotta love yourself.
Yeah.
And you and I can't sit here and you know, uh, not believe in ourselves and not love ourselves, and then go out there and try to spread the word and speak to other people and expect them to listen to us if we're going to turn around. And you know that's why I look at it nowadays, and I don't knock people. I don't knock people, trust me. I don't knock people. I don't knock the way people make a living. People earn money, but I don't need to sell you a book or anything like that. Um, a book is about sharing, knowledge and personal things and things like that. And you purchase that book, you support that person. But I don't need to sell you a book to teach you about something that you're born with. It's inside
Mhm.
you. It's inside you. You know, it's inside.
Absolutely.
It's inside you,
Well,
and all you gotta do is hone in.
well, speaking of that, because I know we're over time here, and we'll wrap up with this. I want to ask you about the concept of the inner being, because Abraham talks about that all the time. Your inner being. What is that? What do they mean by that? What do you think? Because I don't know if Yeah, go ahead.
I've heard them use inner being,
Yeah.
and again, the way I interpreted it, the way I accepted it, molded it in a way for it to work for me,
Hmm.
was again being ultimately in touch with your inner self and knowing your, and I'll use the word, I mean, just like knowing your power,
Wow.
because we are all powerful. We are all extremely powerful individuals. We are all balls of energy. We're all balls of fire and energy. And we simply just need to get that grip, hone in on that energy,
I love
practice.
that.
Practice makes perfect. Again, make it fun. Make it a game. Don't stress it. Don't stress it. This is a game. This is fun. Enjoy yourself. Don't look back. The only time you should look back is to see how far you've come, you know?
Yes.
Just don't, man. Like, there's so much.
I'm so glad you said that, because they say
Yeah.
that. They say the inner being, your inner being never looks back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, man. There's only one purpose for you, and you know what your purpose is, and that's to succeed. And don't ever allow anyone in life to tell you that you're never going to succeed, or you cannot succeed. Again, you can't. That word can't. Always watch your vocabulary, and always speak to the universe with intentions. Speak to it wholeheartedly. Know what you want to say and say it, and then let it go. Live your life. Live your life every day like you already have. I'm
Wow.
already on top of the world. I'm already on that news channel. I'm already, involved in this career. I'm already got this career case. I'm already, wanting my children to be successful. I'm already wanting to move on and be successful in another career after law enforcement. I'm already wanting to win the lottery, and it's just constant. Just keep going and going and going. And why not? If the universe is going to continue to give me everything I want, why would I stop asking? Why? Why? My next step is now to share this. It's to share it. It's to be not that, guy and I told a story and I sprinkled a little Hollywood on it and I sold a book and a t-shirt and now I'm this. No,
Mhm.
it needs to be explained. It needs to be explain to people. People need to realize that, this just isn't for the 1%. And it's not that it was hidden. It was just never talked about. And why was it not talked about? Because you can have what I have.
Mm.
You can have what I have. We've just been believing a lot longer than you have, but you really can have what I have. Doesn't that
Oh,
blow your mind? It's
yes, man.
mind blowing. It's mind blowing. I can have what you have. Yeah, you can have what I have. You just got to be, got to be good at it.
Right.
So, so
Man, Niles, this whole conversation's been so inspiring, and it just there's a quote from the late great Kobe Bryant that's coming up in my mind right now, which is greatness is to inspire the person next to you. So I believe that we've inspired at least one person out there with this
uh,
conversation. So thank you so much, man. Thank you for coming on
thank
and
you.
sharing.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. This is great. This is great. I love it. And I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.
Uh, again, this is things that I manifested in my life. I've always manifested, podcasts, and I wanted to do podcasts, and I
Yeah.
wanted to spread the word with other people that are like-minded and other people that are open to learning. And it's awesome. It's awesome.
It really is.
It's
Before we
awesome.
go, share your Instagram or how anything else that you're working on, or however people can follow you. Any of that stuff.
Yeah, it's I have Instagram. I don't have Facebook anymore. I got hacked. So I'm getting back into Facebook, but my Instagram is my name, Niles A. Malvasia. Um, I'll answer, or if I don't answer, somebody on the team answers. Um, Emails and requests, things like that have grown. I do try to get back to everyone. Um, I don't know. There's again, I manifest and I can't complain, because when you ask to eat, and you're fed, you can't complain, right? I ask to help as many people as I can, and now I have people all over the world reaching out to me. So
Super cool.
people are asking for master classes, people are asking for one-on-ones. I'm going to hook up with a couple of people, and then the team is going to grow, and we're going to see what we could get out there. And I'm looking forward to just touching hands with as many people as I can,
Yeah,
and
that's awesome, dude.
show everybody the way, and just ask everybody, if you truly believe, and this is what you're opening your mind and your heart to, and you really want to talk to the universe, just come, walk with me. and we'll get it done.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Niles, don't go anywhere. For everyone else, thank you so much for being a part of this podcast and making it all the way to the end. Peace and blessings, all. Stay inspired.